Hello and welcome to this video on a healthy back workspace, how to look after your back in the office or other workplace. And the first thing everyone asks in this context is, what about posture? If I work in an office, how should I be sitting? Now, although there are lots of people willing to sell you many gadgets and tools and fancy chairs and things like that to help with your back pain, the truth is that although you may hear many testimonials, when directly investigated, these are shown to have very little to no long-term benefits. So physiologically speaking, there is no such thing as perfect posture. So what pops into your mind when you think about posture is really a cultural notion. It's not really based in anatomy or physiology. People with what we would think of as good posture and what we would think of as bad posture actually tend to get back pain in equal measure. So it's not really a hugely relevant factor. The key factor in the workspace and the most important take-home point for today is avoiding static positions for long periods of time. The back loves movement and it hates static position. So the most valuable advice I could give you in this context is every hour on the hour, stand up out of your chair, walk around in a circle, and sit back down. This simple act is far more valuable than any piece of ergonomic whatever someone might sell you. If you are insistent on purchasing something or want something a little bit more helpful, I would recommend something like a sit to stand desk. Now, there's nothing magical about standing as opposed to sitting. Sitting isn't bad and standing isn't good. However, the benefit of the sit to stand desk is the shifting of position. And I would recommend for most people with back pain or trying to prevent back pain, shifting that desk once every 30 to 90 minutes. That will be everything you need to be able to prevent and manage back pain. However, people often still will ask, how should I set up my workstation in that seated position? Because a lot of people do get niggles or tightness or pain in their back when they are sitting. Now, there are some general principles that tend to work for most people. We'll work from the feet up or the ground up. The first principle is to keep your feet flat on the floor. This tends to be best for back support. The second is you want some sort of lumbar support, something that's pressing lightly into that curve in your lower back. The third is to sit back into the chair, so not up on your tailbone, but sitting nice and relaxed back into the chair. You want the chair to be taking the weight off your spine. The fourth point, ideally, your hips should be slightly higher than your knees. This is far more difficult for taller people like myself. However, in an ideal scenario, you want your knees to be slightly under your hips or slightly lower than your hips. And then finally, you want your monitor or the top of your monitor to be at eye level. Now, these are guidelines, not a mandate. So there are plenty of people who sit in all kinds of funky positions in their workplace and they experience no back pain. However, these are general principles that normally work very, very well if you're looking for some extra advice in this context. I hope you found that information useful. If you want some information on the most important first steps to take if you do suffer a back injury, you can check out my video on that topic.